Sony XAV-AX5600 promises to turn your dated dashboard into a modern cockpit with a 6.95-inch bezel-less capacitive screen, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, HDMI input, quick wake, and 3 sets of 5V pre-outs. Either we have finally hit affordable OEM plus nirvana, or it is another shiny slab that makes your commute more complicated. On paper, it is stacked. Short chassis for easier installs, Sirius XM ready, rear camera support, 10-band EQ, and dynamic sound tricks. But here is the thing, specs in a listing do not always survive real roads. I installed the AX5600 in 2 cars and daily drove it for 2 weeks. I have put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 2 weeks of testing. The AX5600 claims to modernize your drive without the drama. The marketing pitch is simple: quick wake so you are not waiting at startup. Bright, responsive bezel-less touch display that feels premium. Better sound through strong 5V pre-outs, 10-band EQ, crossovers, and Sony processing. Seamless smartphone integration via wired CarPlay and Android Auto, plus HDMI input for external sources. Sounds slick, right? But here is where things get interesting. Real-world installs expose what holds up and what does not. Reality check. They claim quick wake. What you actually get is a unit that is usable in about 2 seconds for basic audio, but CarPlay and Android Auto handshakes take closer to 7 to 12 seconds depending on your cable and phone. Cold boot after a battery pull is noticeably longer. Evidence: I timed morning startups across multiple days with 2 iPhones and a Pixel. Radio is instant, navigation takes a beat. They claim a bright, premium display. What you actually get is a crisp capacitive panel with smooth scrolling and clean UI, but glare is still a thing in direct sun, and you will want to bump brightness to max midday. Evidence: mid-noon test with the sun over the shoulder. The anti-glare coating helps. The viewing angles are solid, but expect some reflections on glossy interiors. They claim 4x55W power. Here is where it gets mathematically impossible. That 55W is peak. Real RMS is closer to the usual head unit range, around 18 to 20W per channel into 4 ohms. Translation: it will wake up factory speakers, but it will not transform them. The good news: those 3 pre-outs are strong. What you actually get is near 5V class signal that feeds an external amp cleanly with less hiss. Evidence: swapping from a 2V pre-out unit to the AX5600 dropped noise floor and gave more headroom on the same amplifier gain settings. The 10-band EQ and crossovers are effective, and Sony's sound staging tricks can widen the image, though they can sound artificial if overused. They imply seamless smartphone integration. What you actually get is rock-solid wired CarPlay and Android Auto when you use a quality, short USB cable. Cheap or long cables, expect random disconnects. HDMI input works, but here is the plot twist. Video is locked out once the vehicle is moving, and you cannot use it for full phone mirroring control while driving. That is a safety lockout, not a bug. Weblink-style casting exists on some Sony units, and when available, it is usable but laggy. This is not the AX5600's killer feature. Evidence: parked playback is clean. Once rolling, the screen blanks video as expected. They suggest easy installation. Reality: the short chassis really does help in tight dashes, and the bezel-less face sits clean in most trims. Steering wheel control retention requires the usual vehicle-specific adapter. Rear camera input is quick to trigger when shifting into reverse and supports guidelines. Sirius XM ready works with the add-on tuner. There is no built-in navigation or CD, that is by design. And if you want wireless CarPlay or Android Auto, the AX5600 does not do it natively. You would need a wireless adapter or to step up to a different model. Here are the 3 reasons you need to try it and what nobody tells you. Reason 1: display and interface. Sony's UI is refreshingly simple. Big icons, minimal lag, fast transitions. It looks OEM plus instead of carnival lights. The capacitive touch feels close to a good smartphone, and the quick wake means you are not stuck in parking lot purgatory. What the marketing does not mention: you will still fight sun glare in some cabins. A matte screen protector helps. Reason 2: sound quality and expandability. The AX5600's 3 sets of high-voltage pre-outs are the secret weapon. Paired with an amp, noise drops and dynamics open up. In my test car, vocals lifted, bass tightened with the sub pre-out, and the 10-band EQ plus high-low pass filters made tuning painless. Here is where it gets interesting. The internal amp is fine for stock speakers, but if you are chasing wow, use those pre-outs. The dynamic stage organizer can help dash-level speakers image higher but keep it subtle. Reason 3. Connectivity that avoids tech roulette. Wired CarPlay and Android Auto are boring in the best way when you use a solid cable, predictable, stable, and fast. HDMI input is great for parked tailgates or passengers, and the short chassis truly simplifies install in tight vehicles. What the marketing does not shout: no native wireless, expect video lockouts by design, and poor cables will sabotage your experience. Spend the extra $10 on a certified cable. Verdict: recommended with one big caveat. If you want a clean, reliable OEM Plus head unit with a premium-feeling screen, strong pre-outs for future amps, quick wake, and rock-solid wired CarPlay or Android Auto, the Sony XAV-AX5600 delivers. The cons: no native wireless, some sun glare, and the usual head unit RMS reality versus 55W peak. Pricing tends to float from the mid-300s to low 500s depending on sales. Worth it if you value stability and sound quality headroom. If you must have wireless, consider stepping up to something like Sony's AX6000 or a Kenwood with wireless baked in. Otherwise, this is a smart buy for most daily drivers. Stay savvy out there. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I have put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Drop your questions below, tell me what car you are installing this in, and let me know which unit you want me to tear down next. New deep dive drops next week. Keep your dash clean and your tunes cleaner.